Thank you for staying with us. As mentioned earlier, today's discussion will focus on faith and power, how religion shapes Nigerian politics. Religion plays a significant role in the lives of many Nigerians, and naturally, it has become a prominent factor in Nigerian politics. With a large portion of the population subscribing to either Christianity or Islam, religious affiliations often create ideological divisions that can be exploited by politicians to advance their agendas. This intersection of faith and politics is crucial in understanding how political dynamics unfold in the country. On one, on one hand, religion can serve as a moral guide for political conduct. On the other hand, there is concern that politics may corrupt religion, leading to a commercialization of faith and an abandonment of its spiritual core. As we delve into this topic, we'll explore where the line should be drawn between religion and politics, and question whether the separation of religion and state was intended to prevent such entanglements. So, what do you guys think about the topic? Do you think there's a connect between politics and religion, especially in Nigeria? And how relevant really is religion to politics?
I feel like this can be a very controversial topic if it's not
100%.
properly broken down.
Yes.
Okay, religion, politics, and these two in Nigeria cannot be separated. Why? Because we have a lot of, not all religious leaders, but some who are taking advantage of their followers. So now what do we have? We have political leaders taking advantage of people. And we also have religious leaders taking advantage of people. How do they do this? Okay, so some political leaders, well, I don't want to say allegedly, but some, they realize that a good amount of the population is religious.
Yeah.
And not everyone is so comfortable. So they bring all these claims that they will do this, they will do that. And these people fall for their traps and say, oh, okay, this person is our person. He said you do all of this for us. And they follow that person. Now, religious leaders, on the other hand, the thing about some religions in Nigeria is we can be very, very strong on it. So we are very obedient to our religious leaders. So if a religious leader says, this is the person we're voting for, everybody's going to vote for that person. And the problem is we don't have a lot of people that do research on their own.
Exactly.
There is having an education and being educated, and you educate yourself on a daily basis. So if you're not taking out time to find out what these people are actually claiming, whether these claims are correct and they can actually perform these things, and we're just following people that say do this and do that, obviously, it's not a true democracy.
Do you know what? I'm so glad that you said that whole thing about being educated and educating yourself, because I wanted us to discuss the story of Very Dark Man and the prophet that says that he has water that can, make a barren woman fertile, and he has the miracle soap and everything. And Very Dark Man had gone to NAFDAC and said, how would you approve this? And the prophet says that he's going to sue him for about $1 billion. That was withdrawn, but just a whole lot of drama there. So I just want to know what you think about that. Because I would assume that you're religious, would you buy a soap that would wash away all your problems?
I don't believe that. I'm sorry. Because, no, really, let's be serious. So rationally thinking, you thought, oh, if I buy this soap to wash away all my problems, how does that work?
I think that's where the issue of being educated.
Yeah, and I want to correct your term. I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. There's spiritualism and there's religion. Those are two separate things.
100%.
So I don't see how rationally would someone tell you, oh, buy this soap to wash away all your problem. I need to go and buy it. That soap they're buying is a problem.
I think what we have a lot is that we are very hopeful. And I think religious brings in hope.
Just pour all your hope into that.
You want it to work, so you believe it will work. That's why we side with religious leaders all the time, because they bring a sense of hope in a country that there's a lot of uncertainty, if that makes sense. So I think that's the major issue when it comes to that as well.
Yeah,
exactly, and that's when religious leaders take on the opportunity to, okay, not all, but to exploit their followers, because now we're hearing of religion being monetized. For example, the soap that washes away your problems. I don't know. I also heard a story. It's not directly in relation, but then it proves that people will believe anything. Like, I recently saw this story today, this evening, about a pastor that said he went to hell. He killed Satan. And he came back.
Wait, what are religious principles?
I love that for him.
I think
He said he saw people on a queue, and everybody was like, is he attacked by Satan? And then he killed Satan the way Samson killed
Wow.
the lion,
That's
and he came back.
Wow.
that's
to
amazing.
What is
And then the people in his church, some people believed. Like that's the level he has gotten to, that we believe
Just
anything.
blind faith, completely
It's
blind.
also because we have the ideology that religious people cannot do wrong. But you would never think, oh yeah, my pastor could do this, or
Yeah.
someone I
Because
can
they
trust.
define right and wrong. It's like morality is automatically attached to religion. That's why when you're coming and selling a dream as a politician, your immediate instinct is to be backed by a religious person because they define right and wrong. They are the ones that
Yeah.
can bless you as, I'm coming here with good intentions, and then they still come and they are still corrupt.
Do you know what? Do you know what this reminds me of?
What?
The recent elections that we just did.
What?
And they were like,
God bless
"Oh,
you.
I prophesied. This person is
you.
gonna."
Beg.
God bless you.
Let's hear what Alpha and Letham
Exactly.
have
Alpha and Letam. Can you guys hear us?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, so what do you guys think?
I mean, like you said, Yasmin, Nigerians, most of us hold religion really close to our hearts. Our faith is really important. It's not just a religion to us, but it's like a way of life. And when something is so central to you, the people in charge of that religious environment will generally have a greater impact or influence on you. So I think I would like to see religion, or I'd like to see our faith from a standpoint of like good. When you look at some of these institutions, like the church, for example, like big churches in Nigeria, like RCCG, Winners Chapel, these institutions have been able to like build great things. They have multiple churches around the world, and they've actually like contributed to the Nigerian infrastructure in terms of schools, hospitals, etc. So I think I'd just like to see them being actively involved in politics, as opposed to shying away from it and prophecies and all of that, but being actively involved, empowering their members beyond just spirituality, but actively participating in politics. Because at the end of the day, religion or faith isn't solely enough to improve governance in Nigeria. So I think from that standpoint, it's important. Yeah.
Perfectly put. Alpha, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
So I agree with what Latam said, all of it. In my opinion, there are three major things that people in power, especially if they're illegitimate, use to keep people subject to them. There's weaponized poverty, there's weaponized illiteracy, and there's weaponized religion. And things that these three factors, they reinforce and they work in tandem with each other. So you see that the people who are believing the thing about them washing their sins away and their problems away with soap, that is weaponized illiteracy clearly at work. The people that are believing that if they gave all of their money to their pastor, they will receive their visa in the next week, or they would receive a new job that will pay them lots of millions of money. That is weaponized poverty. And the religion itself, the religious institutions themselves, that don't teach people what religion is actually supposed to be, which is a way of life that improves and works in cooperation with the government. Those people too are at fault. The thing about what Latam said about them building schools and institutions, that's a great thing. But then I've done studies, and then there was a research paper on the gov.uk website, which was written by the British government in tandem with the Nigerian Institute for Social Education, that said that even young Muslims are seeking, like they're converting to try to get education from these places. So you're wondering, it comes to mind, these institutions that the religious bodies build, are they building it solely for the betterment of the people, or are they building it to further their own agenda, which is, I guess, to claim superiority over the other religion? So we need to really check those three factors: the weaponized religion, the weaponized ignorance, and the weaponized poverty. We need to curb them in order to actually move forward. Because religion and politics are like this, there's no separating it, So if we can't separate it, we might as well find a way to make it work together.
So would you say we still use religion as a sort of moral compass in political dealings in Nigeria, or as an excuse for misdoings? Because, as I said earlier, it seems as though the definition of right and wrong is in the hands of religious leaders as of right now. So what do you think about that?
Yeah. Sorry, can I go on?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So to be honest, I was doing some research today, and I watched the video of this man, Pastor Abel Damina. Now, he's a controversial figure as a pastor in general, so you already know that when his name pops up, something interesting is going to be said about him. But then he was telling the people that God doesn't get involved with those things. And see, that's where I personally have the problem with religion itself, at least the way it's purported in Nigeria. You just asked the question about whether they can actually like coexist and whether they can actually like work together. But then these same people, these same religious leaders are the ones that are spreading the message that religion and politics are two separate things. They are criminalizing politics and demonizing it and making it look like it's the devil's game. And then you as a righteous person should have no part in it. He's saying that our calling as men of God is to perfect you and to strengthen you. And my question to someone like that says that if you are really religious, you should stay away from politics because all of them are evil, is that how exactly do you want to strengthen a race of people who lack the basic infrastructure to live without going through and rebuilding the system? It's like saying you want God to strengthen, you don't need to suffer for no reason. And then I guess we have adopted with a lot of religions, the idea of glorified suffering is something that we have adopted and we have gotten used to. And in my mind, I'm like, that makes no sense because these are the systems that we created. You won't say that you don't cook food because you won't cook food because the fire only cleanses 99% of, you would still cook it because you can still make it better. So there's no point of us trying to shy away from politics as religious or as spiritual people. I feel like they need to start speaking out against it. So that's the step forward, in my opinion.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we will continue this conversation shortly, but let us take a break really quickly and then get right back to it.
Contributing to the problem of overpricing within the Nigerian environment or
Okay.
in the industry at large.
I'll come this way that a lot of these challenges being experienced also, we can't take out the place of the agents away from it. Because the higher the price, the higher their commission. In some cases, there are landlords that have said, oh, this house, I'm taking 5 million naira per annum from it, for instance. And the agent is saying,
I can get it for
I
7
can get
million
it
for
for
you.
7. It's now, your friends are taking, all around, your neighbors are taking 10 million, 8 million. And the landlord say, oh, anyway, if you can get me just 5 million, I am okay. If you get anything other than that, it's yours. So some seem to mark it up. And if the regulations we have, if we actually enforce it, then those can be curbed. Now, we won't take out the fact that these things happen, and some of them may be as a result of probably title. Title makes this pricing to go up. Like you see a place where he has probably a certificate of occupancy, and I mean, whether individual or global certificate of occupancy that covers an entire state, and the next one doesn't have. I mean, so to that extent, so
Because
it
this is a
commands
safer
value.
property.
It's safer.
The truth is, there's really no science to preventing suicide. It hasn't been found. I think the reason it hasn't been found is because it's something that happens to the person on their own. But when people die by suicide, then you realize that there's someone close to them who knew what they were going through. Someone in his family knew that he'd been depressed. It might not be a lot of people in the family, but somebody knew. There's someone he told. There's a friend that knows too, that was just always there saying, fighting, I'm here for you, if you need anything. Or maybe they don't even have to say it in that way, but there's one person aware. So at the end of the day, because there is no way to directly say this person is going to die, I think that the most that we can do is try to, for us that are living, for the rest of the people that are still hearing us, that are still considering it, to say, because we know that one person is aware, maybe you can take the step for yourself to tell maybe a professional to get you the help that you need. Because someone like CEO of Conga, he's exposed, he's traveled, he's seen the world, he has money, he has a family. He knows that suicide isn't the way out. That's not the message that it was thinking of at the end of the day. So I just want to say that, like, the person that's out there, that knows that this is what it is for you, just try and, it changes life. It keeps going. Try and get the help that you need. That's what I can say.
Thank you for staying with us. We are still discussing faith and power. How does religion shape Nigerian politics? So, back to our conversation. I think that the religion and politics are really similar in the sense that they both share one common denominator, which is power. And how do they maintain that power's influence over people? So, like Alpha was saying, regardless of people trying to distance religion from politics, because they're like, oh no, that's dirty, there's too much corruption, there's too much manipulation, they still have so much power to control what people think. Like with Alpha talking about weaponized poverty, investing all of your money thinking that God is going to double it the next day. And in good conscience, you know that you have the amount of power to get someone to do that, to go into it blindly, to trust you blindly, which is what we do as citizens of countries, putting all of our hopes and dreams in the hands of one person to fix all of our problems. So in a way, organized religion and politics, hand
I
in
have
hand.
a point actually.
Yes.
So I want to tap on what Alpha said about how some religious leaders are making it seem like politics is a dirty game. Don't involve yourself. Now, let's keep in mind, I practice a religion. I want to be totally neutral here. Some religions, most religions have like laws and books. For example, the Bible, the Quran, good. Now, some of these religions actually state how to relate to people in authority. Some of these religions actually state that you should be good citizens. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Some of these religions like give direct instruction, be a good citizen, obey authority. How do you be a good citizen? Is it by staying away from politics?
Or if your authority is telling you to stay away from politics, then you stay away from politics.
No, you should have.
He's a
The
good
religion is not. Your faith is not in the religious leader.
That's the thing.
It's
Is a
in the
good
power you
citizen
believe in.
obedient, or do they actually have faith in their country? So do you
Yeah.
have faith in the person that's controlling the country and organizing everything, or do you have faith in what your country could become?
Exactly.
The thing about Nigerians is that we are easily swayed.
Very- so
Throughout
easily.
the history books, from colonization all the way to like the present time, we can see that we are we're naive. Let me just put it like that. So anything, if, for example, let's say Elon Musk should come to Nigeria and he goes to like the masses in a village and tells them if they, okay, let me use in the context, so we're talking about religion. Let's say if he tells them if they bath in, okay, if they buy water from him and they bath in it, they'll be rich. They'll believe.
They'll probably
A good
And
amount.
a good amount, because they have seen this man on the news. Like, you know, this man that
And
has-
he's rich now.
he's rich. He
Come.
cannot be lying.
Let
He
me
can
do
never
what
be
you're
lying.
doing.
So I think the thing about Nigerians is that we are too easily swayed, because it has gotten to the point that we need to be easily swayed by anything, because we are scared that
Exactly.
or
things will
if
go
we
wrong.
don't believe this, something bad
Something
will
bad
happen.
will
We are easily
happen.
swayed because we don't have faith in our country, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's because so many people are hungry, so many people are like impoverished in
That's
Nigeria.
so true.
That even having someone, and like even the idea that there could be something good that could happen if you do this, you take that chance. Think about it.
Yeah, speaking on the weaponization of illiteracy and the weaponization of ignorance, let me talk on that. There are two problems here. Okay, so people are illiterate. You know, illiterate doesn't necessarily mean you didn't go to school. It's just like not knowing about a particular good. So people are illiterate in religion and they are illiterate in politics. Religion in the sense that they believe their religion is surrounded around what their religious leader says. They will not bother to find out on their own. They will not bother to read their Quran on their own, to read their Bible on their own. They don't want to find out about the faith themselves. They just put all their hope in their religious
Blindly.
leader. That's some people. And the basis of this religion is your faith in a power, not in a human being. So why are you obeying the human being before the power that you believe in?
And isn't that a
That's
sin?
one. And shouldn't you be finding out more about the faith that you claim to have? That's one. Two, politics. So leaving aside the whole, oh, we have faith in Nigeria, we don't have faith in Nigeria thing. There's how politics works. There are basic things that you can use to analyze the true aims of someone if they are contesting for a position per se. And obviously, if one person is telling you that, oh, if you vote for me, I'll do this, I'll do that, you should be able to discern per se, just like by your own intuition, that, oh, does this person actually mean what they're saying? Fine, it doesn't go the way we always hope for it to go. But I think ignorance is a big problem. Like what she just said, that, oh, if Elon Musk comes and says, oh, you should have your bath in the water that he sells to you. Rationally, does that make sense? I think we're all taking this, like the irrationality is becoming normal.
It's getting wild.
Yeah.
And do you know, okay, I'm so glad that you brought up colonization. Letam, Alpha, can you hear me? Letam, Alpha? Oh, I'll
Yeah, I
let
can
you.
hear you, Yasmin. Go on.
Perfect, because I have a question for you guys. So
Okay.
we know that, I'm sure a lot of us like we're religious, blah blah blah. I'm so sure, yeah. But we know that religion wasn't how it originally was for us as Africans, right?
Yeah.
Looking at the two largest religions in Nigeria right now, Islam and Christianity. We know that Christianity came with colonization. We know that Islam came with the trans-Saharan slave trade?
Yeah, I think so.
Anybody can
Yeah.
fact check me. But yeah, we before that we had our own beliefs. We had traditionalists. But I want you guys to answer honestly. Would you vote a traditionalist president?
I probably won't.
Okay.
Well,
Why?
I
Wait.
mean, I'm going first. Well, the truth is, when you think about religion and when you think about politics, like Alpha said, you can't like separate them. But at the end of the day, whoever the leader is, if they have the same common goal as me to improve Nigeria, I don't think in that instance the religion may matter to me. At the end of the day, whoever is in power will take things from his or her religion. But the most important thing is the individual having Nigeria first. So yeah, I wouldn't be voting for a
That makes
traditional
a lot of
leader.
sense.
Yeah, it's the same thing I was going to say. They are inseparable, but then there are times that you should not conflate the two.
Yeah.
If you use your religion to give yourself a certain bias over the kind of decisions you make politically, you will find yourself in what we have in Nigeria today, where APC is a predominantly Muslim, predominantly Christian party. And that now very easily factors out into tribalism, where people are saying that Labour Party is just Igbos that are trying to take over Nigeria again,
Yeah.
and all sorts of other auxiliary problems. So there are certain things that you don't do. What I was saying when I said that religion and politics are actually supposed to be joined together, I meant that as religious leaders, they have a responsibility to teach their people also a thing that is far away. We are the government, people are the government. So it's literally like how you'd say, okay, send your child to school so you can grow. It's the same thing. Send your child to go and vote so your country can be better, so everybody can be better. So it's the religious leaders taking that proactive action to push people to actually participate in the government that they created and that works for them. But then when it now comes to you making decisions based or what religious affiliation that he has, then that, in my opinion, that doesn't make a lot of sense because, like he said, it's competence that matters, and most importantly, the person's like having Nigeria's best interests at heart. So there are parts where they mix and there are parts where they don't mix. Our responsibility as citizens is to teach ourselves and to educate ourselves so we know those parts and we respond accordingly.
Those are very strong points. In fact, let me correct my answer. Well, now that I think about it, okay, yeah, if they have like very good goals for the country, I don't think I would even know because the past contestants in the elections, I don't even know their religion.
I don't think we've ever had a traditionalist.
That's what I'm thinking. Why should your religion have to do anything with it?
It's
Why should
Yeah.
I know that the possible candidate's religion? That should not sway my views.
This
Exactly.
is Nigeria.
But it's Nigeria,
And it
and
does.
does.
I think that anyone, as long as they have good intent, I think anyone could become like a general leader of Nigeria.
Yeah.
Because if we had like a ruler or a president that was traditionalist or atheist and we did not know, but then their tenure was one of the best that the country has ever had. After you will see, like, if you ever get out, there will be some Nigerians that will say, let's say if it was a traditionalist, some Nigerians will say use juju on us.
Yes.
Some people will take like the humble road and say, oh, that just proves that anyone can be a leader despite their religion or what they follow or maybe religion that they do not have. But then because of the kind of country that we're in, Nigeria is very cultural. I think I can put that. So we're really invested when it comes to faith or a belief in something. So I don't know. I'm not sure this story is exactly... It's not exactly... It doesn't directly relate to the topic. But I think let me not say a long time ago, around 1970 something, 1980 something, there was this man that he called himself Jesu of Oyibo.
I think I've heard of him.
So there's this market, Oyibo market in Lagos. So that's where his church was. And then his father was a traditionalist. So he didn't go to school. Like he just kept going to churches and churches and churches. And then one day he just proclaimed to all his members, like he was living off of tithe. Like he denounced women and alcohol, I think. And then he promotes tithe.
Wow.
And then the congregation listened, I guess. So that was like before. I think if Gen Z were there, they would not have listened. That was before. So he had this statue in their compound of like Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And then him beside Jesus Christ doing the same pose.
Ah.
You know that pose that's like this.
Yeah.
They were doing the same pose. And then it's the fact that Nigerians are, a lot of people believe, like all the members of the church,
Yeah.
they believed. He proclaimed, he said, I am the Jesus that they were talking about in the
Yeah.
second coming of Christ. I'm here
Voila.
to relieve people of their worries. And everybody believed. And then I think he was going to die. I'm not sure the story surrounding it, or he died. And then he told them that he will be back because he's Jesus Christ. On the third day, he will resurrect. And then he died.
No.
3 days
We'll
passed.
wait now.
All the members of the church were waiting. I think they were waiting for about 3 months or so. They were like, this man will come back, this man will come back. Small, the church started to collapse, scatter.
And
Then when people left completely, they demolished like the entire area. So I'm just wondering that, why would, what made you like, were you so low on encouragement or confidence that you decided to do something so absurd that you believe that there's actually second Jesus that has come to save us from all our sins? That do you think your country is that
exactly.
bad?
You know what? On the topic of blissful ignorance, I have another question for you guys. I know I've been drilling you guys, but you know. So Karl Marx famously described religion as the opium of the masses, suggesting that it acts as a metaphorical balm for the real and physical suffering of the masses. In the Nigerian context, do you think this statement holds true? Does religion serve as a form of comfort or distraction from socio-economic issues and political challenges in Nigeria? Because, you know, that's what it sounds like. Also, please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation by sending us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. So,
I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting. So I think we all know, like, all opium, the tendencies it has to like numb your pain for like a specific amount of time. So they are saying that is religion in the same context, that the more you believe in something, it will numb how bad things actually are. You don't want to see how bad things are. That you're just going to blindly go on with it. Because even with that, still on that Jesus in Oyibo story, he used to pick women, like wives of his people, to satisfy his
my God.
And no one questioned it. No one said anything. So I think that religion being an opium of the masses, it goes in the same way if things are very bad in Nigeria. Like, okay, things are very bad in Nigeria. And then you keep praying for, like you're praying to God for prices to go down and nothing happens. It's like you can't always just, I'm not saying you shouldn't put your faith in like your religion. I'm saying that things won't always be solved by just saying, God, please do this thing. That is why, I think that's the reason why there were protests, because people thought I have to do something. I can't just, because there are also people that when they fall sick, they pray. And then they expect everything to be, and then anyone that tells them you have to go to the hospital, no, you're trying to denounce my faith, you can't do that, I believe in God, blah, blah, blah.
I am strong,
I'm very strong. During the COVID, I heard of a lot of cases where people ended up dying. After they were praying to God, they did not go to hospital. And then what I think, God did not tell us to pray to him and not take action. Like he didn't tell you to just pray.
It's like the people that go to exam, they say, I haven't studied though, but
then I'll pray and I'll pass. So God didn't tell us to just pray and then he will do everything. He wants you to take action. He wants you to do something about it. You can't just put all your, let me not say faith, but they can't just put everything into him and expect, because everything happens for a reason, obviously. But then I think that the thing about people, we misinterpret a lot. I think Nigerians tend to misinterpret information and take it the way they feel is better for them. So still in the context of what Karl Marx said, I think I did some research, and in his days, like it was the days of, what do you call this?
World War or what?
No. Okay, there was theocracy.
Okay, theocracy.
And then there was monarchy.
Okay.
And then people believe that the monarchs were put there
by God, yes.
So if you go against them, you're going against God. So it's an offense punishable by death, obviously. So what he's saying is that in his days, that's all what was used to subdue the people, to get them
Yeah.
to stop talking,
Yeah.
or to stop complaining. So, yeah.
And it's funny that that's still happening now, where we're just using religion as a balm. Yes, believe in your higher power. Yes, believe in your faith, or just like have faith. But also remember to take action, because it's very, very important to take action as well. So religion as the opium of the people, yes, that is true. But we need that to change. We need that to
100%.
change.
Because Karl Marx made this quote 1844. What year are we in? 2024.
2020. That's so
That's
real.
how many years?
This, in other countries, I won't say it has changed significantly. Let me not lie. It has changed significantly, but I feel like Nigeria was still quite behind on that. And like when you say it's opium for people, I understand what you're saying. Jerry said it just is a sense of comfort and like solace for people. Do you get like we need something to keep us going. We need something to keep us motivated, and that is what religion helps people in Nigeria to do as well.
Exactly. I 100% agree with that. So, just answering the big question, the relationship between politics and religion, I think that they're very, very similar. In a way, I like to say that. Oh, I'm so sorry. We have someone on the call right now. Hello, hello. Could you hear? We can not hear you.
Yes, can you hear me?
Hello. Yes.
So can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, my name is Sean. I'm in Canada. I'm a Nigerian, so I wanted to give my own insight on the discussion for today. So I think that politicians try to use religious ties to gain an edge over other campaignees during electoral periods. So I think that it's it's on the media and other Nigerians to come together with national unity rather than using religious efforts to appeal to a certain group.
Yes, 100%. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. 100%.
Yeah.
I think it's just like you said, it's our responsibility to decide what we believe and just basically how we can take action as well instead of just blindly following this one thing.
Yeah, at this point, let's make a checklist. Number one, stop being gullible. Don't believe everything they tell you. Please find out for yourself.
Do
Please.
your research.
Do your research.
Thank you. You've heard it here
Number
first. Do your
two,
research.
even after you've prayed, I know you believe in a higher power, but please take action. You can't just say, oh God, please, let Nigeria be better, and then don't take any action. It's very important to take action. And three, please, people that are in these positions to influence people, please influence positively. Don't let the power get into your head. Please influence positively.
Absolute power.
Exactly. Exactly. Wait, Alpha, are you still there?
Okay.
Yes, we're still here.
Did we miss anything?
Do you want to say something, Latam?
You can go. You can go first.
Okay.
All right. So, you know that thing that you guys said about praying for a sickness to go away. That idea, I find it very hard to stomach, because in my perspective, God has answered that prayer thousands of years ago. He gave us this thing inside our heads that allows us to create medicines that solve. So the cures are there. That was God's answer to the prayer, him giving you the capacity to solve your problem for yourself. So I feel like the mentality that we have, that we need things to be handed down to us, as opposed to going out and creating them. And bear with me, permit me to say this, but then I feel like it's because Nigeria as a place is actually very privileged. Like if you look at us from a natural resources standpoint, there are not a lot of things that we don't have. That's why if you compare us to other parts of the world, places in the colder countries where it's either they had to make those fur coats or they died to the extreme weather, you would see, and it is here, because we haven't needed to struggle for anything. And now because of our inability to adapt, our inability to grow, to change, to develop ourselves and our communities, now we're suffering for it because the entire world has moved ahead and we're still in the same place. So religion, we need to see religion as religion is more than just a solution to a problem. When they say that religion is a way of life, what they mean is that you're your life because it's getting progressively worse. You have to actually go and learn, like Tommy said, go and do your research for yourself. And it's the responsibility of the religious leaders as well, the pastors, the imams, the preachers, everyone that has a following for that matter, to tell people that everything that I'm saying isn't everything that there is to know. You still have to go and do more. You still have to go and learn more. That's the only way we can move our country forward. Religion doesn't have to be the opium that we have made it to be. It's a great thing, but then there are other things that come together to give us a holistic country.
100%. So you heard it here first. It is our responsibility as citizens to look beyond God will bless us, we will do this together, blah, 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 blah. Look at how capable these candidates are. And just building on that, have religious leaders failed us in Nigeria with the history of bad leadership?
I wouldn't say all religious leaders have failed us. Some have, but I just think it depends on what they're doing with their power. So if you've misused your power, probably have failed us. But I wouldn't say all of them have failed us.
Yeah.
I think the thing about religious leaders, they don't necessarily have a say. I don't think religious leaders, I don't think they fail per se, because at the end of the day, they're just preaching to their church.
Yeah.
So it's like you're making it sound like they're in the political rules and then they led us to failure.
They have the same amount
they
of
have
power
influence,
as the
yeah.
When your
political rules.
church is massive and there's so many people that are following your script, like your word, then you have enough power to make a difference.
You know that thing that parents say where they're like, if someone tells you to put your hand inside fire, will you do it? I can tell you so many religious leaders in this country that if they say put your hand inside fire, money will start multiplying. They'll put both 10 fingers in straight.
And that's why someone, I don't remember the person that told me, but they said like if you know you are building a church or you want to be a pastor, that you should make sure you get it through to your followers, like from the beginning, that it is not me you are following.
It's not
Yes,
me.
it is whatever you believe in.
What you believe in. You are not following me. So if I die today, you
will
guys
still
will
follow.
continue to follow. Because there are some churches, if the head pastor should die today, that's the end.
The end of the church.
Chaos. They will collapse. That's the end. So I think that's why religious leaders need to get into their followers' heads. They should have that mindset from the beginning that I'm doing this for me, not for anyone else.
Okay. I'm doing this for what they believe in. Pardon me.
Yes.
What they believe in.
Commercialization of religion. We need to stop that, please. If you are collecting tithes, please let the tithes be for a good cause. Let there be transparency. Please don't. We beg you. Please let us know what is for. For example, that Jesus Oyinbo, the story you told, I found that very surprising.
If you're going to be the pinnacle.
Sorry, on the topic of commercialization of religion, just one thing I need to say.
Yes.
Do you guys know that Nigeria is a constitutionally secular state? As when Nigeria is in itself secular, and then we are very religious. Why is there a 90 billion naira allocation for officials?
We didn't get that.
Because you're talking about commercialization, I guess
you
that
come again,
involves money.
please?
You said the 90
There is
billion.
a 90 billion naira allocation out of the federal government's the budget for subsidy for government officials to go on pilgrimage.
What?
Sorry for the
You
laugh.
guys didn't know this. Has been bothering me for months, and I'm like, the idea that we put this much money into something that they should be doing for themselves out of their own pockets, and it is the citizens that pay for it against our will as well, because it's just taxes that we're paying. We don't know that it's going towards things like that. So it's like where our money goes to, and they justify it with religion, saying that it's because it's God's will. The Christians that are paying the taxes for these people to go on pilgrimage, I don't think it's in their best interest for their taxes to be used for things like that. Like, I understand religion is important here, but then there are boundaries to these things. And I wonder, even if there was a budget, why is it that high? It's an interesting thing that we have in our country.
We have 1 minute left, so I would just like to thank all of you guys so much, because you have just been saying so much. You've said a lot, and there's just a lot that needs to be learned from this, especially to the average Nigerian citizen that's believing everything they're seeing, but also to religious leaders to acknowledge the responsibility that they have. We get that you have this influence, we get that you have this power. This is to political leaders as well. We understand that you have this power, but we urge you to use it right. If religion has put you at the pinnacle of morality, then you might as well be moral, because people are listening to you.
That was deep.
Thank you. So yeah, does anyone have any last things to say?
Do your research.
Yeah, do your
Okay, yes,
research,
Nathan,
that's it.
please.
Yeah, so I think with regard to like religion being like some sort of opium, usually people use opium to escape, to run away. And I think a lot of individuals like use religion as like that form of escape to just run away from the real
100%.
problems in their life. The truth is we can't run away. We are all, so far as we're all Nigerians, religion. We are Nigerians, we are the government, like Alpha said. So there's no running away, so might as well embrace it. You can't use religion as this block to, I guess, push yourself completely away from the country. So far as you're Nigerian, you have to take action. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents.
Thank you so much. As Nigerians, we have to take actions. Wherever you run to, you will always be a Nigerian. You will always be responsible.
Yes.
So before we go, do ensure you subscribe to our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and most importantly, follow all our social media engagements. And remember to like, share, comment, and invite your friends and family to watch us and follow us. If you missed our quote, here it is. Politics without religion is like a ship without a compass. R.A. Torrey. See you tomorrow. Thank you for staying with us. Bye.